So since my son has probably been able to walk, but more specifically, since he's probably been about 7, yes, he's been walking long before 7 years old, but since he's been old enough to kind of pick up yard tools and kind of use them, he's been fascinated, like any boy who probably lives in an area that's somewhat in the country, has been fascinated by just making paths and things in the woods. So this is on the back corner of the property of one of our locations, and I haven't been up here in a while, and it's a wooded area. And this backyard, I should show you, used to have a fence that really came close to, like, my finger is like, it really came close and just kind of like looped the back of the house, because an elderly person let everything where that trampoline is all the way to me, trees, it was like jungle, overgrowth, vines. So over the years, we cleared it out and made more of a usable backyard. But we wanted to keep some woods. For one, just it's woods, right? And it's nature. And secondly, privacy and kind of a neat area. So what he had done is made a path. Unfortunately, his sign tacked to those 2 trees. I think it was a really cheap piece of wood. I think it rotted out, but he has made a little path taking old lumber from the deck that I've replaced on the deck, floorboards, some bricks. And he has cleared this. My son is now 12. He has cleared this area out and maintains it since he was about 7. And he's very big into preserving nature. Like these little pine trees, like they pop up all over the place in the woods, and they're tiny. You just, like, whatever, if they're in the way of a path, you just kind of like pull them out. But he was so sensitive that I think originally, in a good way, I mean, the path came, he made the path, original path around this little pine tree. See, I'm gonna hurt it. So here it is. It's a scrub pine, I guess, but eventually it might be big like that one. So God bless him, good soul. So he maintains this. Like when the leaves come down, you can see all the trees, he will actually rake and leaf blow back here. And he has taken old lumber that I have stacked to properly dispose of, and has like kind of made his own thing. He wanted to make a bench, and what he did was he used scrap wood. And granted, he's a kid, he's not using power tools and all that, so you can see the seats, and that's actually a good piece of scrap wood right there. And then whatever that is, and took 2 pieces left over. Actually, this is left over from the fence. You can see, I don't know how he got that. He must have snagged it before we disposed of the fence, and we disposed of that like 5 years ago. Or maybe I kept a piece or 2 for something. So he has made a little bench. And then as we did some tree clearing, and I had all this wood stacked somewhere else, he on his own somehow moved it and created like a little perimeter. And this was a compost pile that has dwindled. This was really high, several feet higher, but it's really dwindled, and I think I know what he's doing. He's probably gonna let that keep composting, and then whatever, extend his perimeter or do something like that. But it's pretty private back here. I could see why he made a little bench. He does have a remote control car. Sometimes he'll bring up here. Like he has a really cool Traxxas, which is pretty fast. And I think that's what his initial intention. He had for those of you in the RC cars, he had a crawler before that, and I think he was trying to make a track for that. This is too small for the Traxxas, but you can still bring it up here and have a little fun, do some donuts. And yeah, it's pretty neat. And I believe he tried to make a path. So you used to see him pop out further. So basically the woods that I'm looking at divides us from their house to this home, our location. And down we have a like privacy woods down the center, which is kind of nice. We have great neighbors, but it's nice to have some privacy. And I'd be in the driveway and I'd see him just like come out of the woods further down, and he would say, "Oh, I'm like, where'd you come from?" And he would say, "Oh, I came out from my path." So I'm wearing shorts and like open toe slides, so I don't necessarily want to go walking through there, but I'm sure he could retrace it. I think it goes there and like wraps around. Anyway, I know this is not like some huge tree fort or anything, but it just warms your heart when a lot of kids today, especially boys, they're in front of their gaming consoles and texting all the time. And believe me, he has his tablet and he has those things, but he also proactively will come outside and work either in the garage on his tool bench. And check out my video on the garage tour, or the garage vlog, if you will. And he'll work on his workbench on something, or he'll come out here in his woods. So this is a path here that comes off of that. That is the property line behind us. But again, there's more woods. Yeah, and this is, I think, so this compost is mine. Well, I put it here. He wasn't composting, but I think what I tried to do is make a path out this way to bring the stuff over here. And looks like he tried to block it off with like an old tree or something, a fallen tree. And then this path. And it's not like this is acreage back here. We don't have a ton of property, but you try to have a variety of some open space and some wooded space. So this is something I have to deal with the chainsaw. Cut this up, and ultimately you can see what I did over there. I cut that up a while ago, and I put it behind that big bush or tree or whatever you call it, and then there's two more there. I just put it by there so I don't have to look at it while it's stacked up, and it does get sunlight. And then I ultimately rent a splitter, and we'll split it and feed it into the fireplace in the wintertime. So just wanted to, I've been getting some requests on the channel for a tour of the home, and I'm go back and forth with that because it's like, it really gets intimate into personal space, but I really appreciate the interest. So I thought, I'm warming up to the idea, so I thought I would start with a little tour of my son's hangout area. And then before we sign off, the last thing I'll show you here is, I forget what this, it's not a zip line. It's someone in the comments, I'm having a brain freeze, although it is a little chilly out. They play on this. I have two kids, they play on this. And it's strong enough for an adult. I can walk across that. And it's pretty fun. Pretty cool. So it's kind of cool that it comes off of his like fort area. What I like most of all, when you mow the lawn, it's not like in the middle of the way. You can easily get underneath it. And then you can probably see some of where I keep the split wood. It needs to be consolidated. It goes down the side there. I know I said I'm wrapping this video up, but you can see all the wood just goes and goes and goes. All right, well, thanks for watching. And if I'm feeling brave enough, maybe we'll give a tour of the house at some point. See you next time.